Yo, what's good? Shout out to everybody who tuning in. I'm Marcus, the Debt Free Dad, where we talk finances and attorney reactions to current events, funny ass cases that are in the courtroom, and all sorts of things. Hey, if you are new to this channel, I am a licensed attorney. I'm licensed in several jurisdictions. None of those jurisdictions amount to me being your counselor at law. So always seek a professional in your local area. I don't care. Attorney, CPA, plumber, barber. Always make sure the person actually got the license that they need to do what they need to do. Shout out to my guy Wolverine on the first comment on the day. And we got a few interesting stories. I know the thumbnail look wow. Y'all like, yo, why is El Chapo? Why is Chapo up there with Diddy? But this is an interesting case. I kind of just got alarm set. Like anytime there's a weird ass case going on out in the courtroom, I just get an alert. And I saw this one and I thought it was weird. But we're going to dive into that. Before we get into that, I got a few stories that are interesting, a little bit shorter, we're going to get through. And always, as always, if you get some value out of this content, if you don't get value out of it, you think it's suck, hit the dislike button. But if you think it's dope, you find something interesting, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Now, story number one is an easy one. I actually heard this story, I think, on the radio. Let me go and pull up. Y'all gotta give me a minute to let me get the image up so I can read through the article. Because when I first heard this story and the context that it was given as if there are tough economic times out here. But once I read the article, I was like, nah, this is just ignorance. This don't got anything to do with the economy. It don't got anything to do with the economy. Y'all know what story this is. It's Applebee's sitting there right on top of the screen. Let's go ahead and cue this thing up. Oh, that's good. I'll leave it like that. All right. Police arrested a woman at an Applebee's in Portage, Indiana, after an argument over an all you can eat deal offered by the restaurant chain. Ignorance or economy or both. You be the judge. All right. The incident occurred on August 2nd when a 28-year-old woman was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, according to the arrest report obtained by today.com. All right. This title is also misleading. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all why this title is misleading just when I read that. According to the report, the Portage Police Department was dispatched to an Applebee's located at blah, 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 because of a verbal disturbance. The officer noted in the report that dispatchers warned that they heard multiple females screaming and threatening people. The first officer arrived on the scene. He was met by three adult subjects, including the woman who would later be arrested, as well as several juveniles. One member of the group told the officer that they were involved in a verbal altercation with an Applebee's manager. Ignorance or economy? Okay. the the member of the group told the officer that they were under the impression that Applebee's all-you-can-eat deal was good for the entire table if ordered by one person. Anybody over the age of like 6 knows how the all-you-can-eat buffet, right? But let's peep how this article is misleading, because I thought it was presented as if it's an economy thing until I read this article. And I was like, nah, this is just an ignorant, stupid people thing. Applebee's limited time deal that was announced on July 29 essentially offered a bunch of stuff for $15.99. The deal notes the price is per person. The police report states that when the manager served the table an updated check, once they got this check, so they went there with kids and adults. Once they got the check that was updated for everybody, an argument began and it got very loud and heated. So the manager called the police. Applebee's did not immediately respond, which is smart. According to the report, the woman who was later arrested handed the officer a menu which showed the all-you-can-eat special, and he noticed that per person was displayed under the deal's title. So he turned the menu around to show the group. The report says a separate couple then walked out of the restaurant and the woman pointed at them. All right, this is where this article is misleading. Because if you read this article at the top, the title had me believe Applebee's customers arrested after attempt to share all-you-can-eat deal. So I thought it was about them jumping out on the bill, stealing, something like that. But no, as you go through this article, they weren't arrested for the meal at all. They were arrested for the ignorance, as we can see. The officer said he warned a separate couple walked out of the restaurant. The woman pointed at them. She told the officer she argued with them too and began to exchange words with the departing couple again. The officer says that at this time, the woman became very loud and disorderly, attracting the attention of other patrons due to her behavior. The officer said he warned the woman about disorderly conduct charge, and someone who was with her approached yelling, "No, no, no," and what the officer described as an attempt to quiet her, even placing a hand over the woman's mouth, but was unable to do so. Okay, so far, it don't look like she getting arrested for not paying the bill. It looked like she getting arrested for being mad hood. Somebody tried to quiet her and put a hand, and she still was yapping. This is ridiculous. According to the report, the woman continued to yell and act disorderly after being warned the second time about disorderly conduct. The officer approached her under arrest. After realizing later on the woman was transported to the county jail. After realizing the menu stated the deal was per person, a remaining member of the group went back inside and paid the bill in full. That is absolute ignorance and tomfoolery at its finest. Because the way the article, I heard about this on the Breakfast Club, but nice try, it wasn't going to work. Everybody who's over the age of 7 know how all-you-can-eat buffet works. But she didn't even get arrested for the bill. She just got arrested because she showed out and acted like an ass once the cops got there. This is common sense. We all know how all-you-can-eat works. And they even had the money to pay for it. That's the crazy thing. She just wanted to go to jail that night. She probably would have washed some dishes to get out of it. Yeah, I'm sure the guy who was with her it was probably a guy with her who paid the bill. And the article didn't state that. But that was dumb article number 1. I wanted to just give some time before we got into the Chapo and the Sinaloa Cartel and Diddy and why doing stupid things ultimately costs you money in court, whether it's something legitimate or not. Now, this next story was interesting because it just popped up on my news feed. And it's about let's just play it and then we'll talk about it a little later. We'll play it. Let me go and cue it up and then we'll talk about it a little later. This actually needs I'm gonna actually get through this entire story. Let's go and share the screen here. Two women wanted in armed carjacking. Okay. Now I will tell you, as a former defense attorney, I've represented, armed robbers and a plethora of people who did serious crimes and non-serious crimes. Y'all let me know what do y'all think about this story. I'm not even going to talk about it till after it plays.
Police are trying to find 2 women who detectives say stole a man's truck at gunpoint at the end of July. The victim telling investigators he was trying to be a good Samaritan, agreeing to give the women a ride home when the truck was taken. WREG's Jarita Patterson with the photos detectives want you to see as they work to track down 2 suspected thieves.
There are many layers to this story. For starters, this truck was allegedly taken during a carjacking. The accused, these 2 women. And it's alleged the women were armed with AK-47 style rifles. But it's their style of dress one customer says she is familiar with.
Just looking like some girls that's getting ready to go out to the club at night. I see them all the time passing through here.
A man told police he agreed to give the women a ride, trying to be a hero after coming to the Superman market along Summer Avenue. Customer Maurice Bacon says this is why you can never let your guard down.
Even if they're cute, beautiful, whatever it is, no, sometimes they're always about setting up somebody.
According to police, the victim is telling 2 different stories. At one point, the victim said while walking out of the store, the women, who you can see only one carrying a small purse, pulled out assault rifles, kidnapping him. The victim also told police while taking the women home, he was then carjacked. Either story does not make sense to some.
Absolutely not. No, no way.
A shared sentiment from a store manager who turned over surveillance. Off camera, the manager told us the man driving bears some responsibility.
You could say this story is taking sort of a detour. We spoke with a manager here at the market. He is telling us the alleged victim was in the wrong himself. Regardless, police are looking for the pair last seen in this parking lot.
We found the truck parked in the driveway at the victim's home. No one answered when we knocked. This is still an open investigation with several variations of what happened, as police are looking for several suspects still on the run. For your news leader in Berkeley, Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
All right, now this isn't rocket science. Y'all in the comments, y'all in the comments, let me know what do y'all think the actual story is. Before we gonna read the comments to the video before we dive into this Diddy's cartel lawsuit. But that is wild. As somebody who used to be a defense attorney, as soon as I heard that story, why everybody always hitting me up during production? What's up? I'm on a live. What's good? Nah. Nope. All right, later. All right, so my bad. So, what do y'all think happened right there? Let's run it back real quick. I'm gonna point out a few things in this story. Let me go ahead and make this full screen so y'all can see it. I'm gonna put my face in the little corner right there. Now, he was being a good Samaritan, or was he out there trying to get something else? Okay, that's point number one. I'm gonna show you the problems with this story that don't make sense. And even the cops like, nah, this dude
Two
capping.
women who detected Samaritan agreeing to give her he was trying to be a good Samaritan. The victim telling investigators he was trying to be a good Samaritan.
Trying to be a good Samaritan. Of all the people, he probably drove past 50,000 homeless people that day, but he decided to be a good Samaritan to these two. I wonder why. That story just sounds disingenuous to me. Let's go on to the second thing that just doesn't make any sense.
Agreeing to give the women a ride home when the truck was taken. WREG's Jarita Patterson with the want you to see as they work to track down two suspects.
Many layers to this story. For starters, this truck was allegedly taking these two women, and it's alleged the women were armed with AK-47s.
All right, where the hell, according to this video, where did they hide the AK-47s at? Only one has a purse. The comments to the video is hilarious. But these two women, of all the people he can help out be a good Samaritan to, he just happened to pick these two. And he says they had AK-47s, and the only thing they have is one has a purse.
Style rifles, but it's their style of dress one customer says she is familiar with.
You know, just looking like some girls that's getting ready to go out to the club.
Long story short of this video is this dude full of shit. Those stories is hilarious. Let me check out these comments. He wanted something in exchange. Come on now, really. Like him being a good Samaritan. Yeah, right. Nobody buying that. Superman market can't save them hoes. That's hilarious that it's called a Superman market. He was trying to be Captain Save-O, and he ended up. Yeah, that's hilarious that it was at Superman market and he had his cape on trying to be Captain. That's a good comment right there. That's hilarious. I might have to chop this up as a shorter video. This is hilarious. Assault rifles, yeah, right. That's hilarious. My spouse stole a car, was located in Baltimore. Thelma and Louise crackheads were located in it. I don't even trust women after that. Yeah, you can't stop and be a good Samaritan for nobody. Like literally, like the worst is like when you at the drive-through and somebody comes up and they're like, "Hey, you got some change?" or they constantly harassing you. Like, nah, don't run up on me like that. Y'all already know how I'm rolling out here on the Second Amendment side of the game. But that story was wild. He was trying to get some Latina goodies. Yeah, I agree. That was the most ridiculous stuff. Don't trust your spouse. Like, I mean, like, yeah, that's crazy. They pulled an AK. Oh man, that story is hilarious. But yeah, that story is wild. Hold on, before we jump into the real topic of this video, I wanted to give y'all a little bit of filler before we got to the legal side of the game. But before we jump in, let me pull this up because I want y'all to look at these comments. These comments are absolutely hilarious. Let me go down some of the comments. I mean, I'm a skip mine. Mine was made 5 hours ago and I saw it. Is this what he told his wife he was being a good Samaritan? He was trying to get some cheeks and they robbed him. Everybody know Memphis is not the place to play good Samaritan. He thought they were streetwalkers, but they were jackers. I'll be honest, like, yeah, that just would have been a stolen car. I'd have been like, man, somebody robbed me. I'd have made at that point, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's worse when you actually tell the story and now it's all on the news. They like, he told 3 different variations of the story. He out here looking crazy. That's hilarious. He said they had AKs with the stock on it. That can't fit in no purse. That's hilarious. That man thought he was about to put in some work on the working girls. They actually worked him. He said they had the AK-47 in their crotch. Yo, that's a hilarious comment right there. Well, they were prosecuted, and it was just sad. Selling parts off the vehicle as they made their way across the state. Yeah, and I've seen people like, because the thing is, if you pull over, and even if you give somebody change, I don't care if you got a pistol on you or not. If somebody get the drop on you, you ain't got no choice but to give it up. It just looked crazy. I don't know. I just think it looked crazy. And I saw that. I was like, man, this is right up there. I don't know if y'all remember, I did the story about the guys in the strip club who were getting drugged and their credit cards were getting charged like $100,000, $50,000 on their credit card because the strip club allegedly put something in the ventilation system in the boom boom room to knock these guys out. This is right up there with that when we talk about on the finessing side of the game. So the moral of those two stories is it ain't no moral to the first story. The moral of the first story is some people just ignorant or cheap as hell or crazy as hell. The moral of this story is like, hey, sometimes it ain't worth it, bro. Just keep on driving. Sometimes the best thing to do is just look, get a glance, get your gas, and keep it moving. He was at the Superman market trying to save him. That comment was hilarious. All right, now we about to turn into some lawsuit action. Before we dive into this lawsuit, this is a cautionary tale of how being reckless can end up costing you. We know literally the early part of 2024, Sean Combs Diddy was the subject matter. He was probably Diddy was probably the only person happy about Tiffany Henry coming into play because she took the pressure off of him. But before Henry was there, it was all about Diddy and all of these various lawsuits that he had going on. He needed to say AK to preserve his street cred since the vehicle is now plastered all across the news and stop the police from clowning him. Like, yeah, he could have said anything. He could have said a Glock. Because if they got the drop on you, they just got the drop on you. Somebody got the drop on you. Rule number one of being a lawful armed carrier, you can't draw from the drop. It's impossible to do. So you just got to eat it. Like, hey, whatever. You got me unless you find a counter ambush opportunity. But that is actually hilarious. Never give your credit card to a club. Never go. Literally, when you go into any type of club, especially if it's a strip club, all you need is your driver's license and the cash you're going to spend. Absolutely nothing else. But yeah, those guys got finessed. And this guy, he got finessed too. But he thought he was going to get something that he didn't get. Now, like I said, Diddy was the subject of a lot of litigation. Most of it revolved around just kind of creep stuff. with trafficking, sex trafficking, and abuse and all of that stuff. I literally did a video going through the complaint filed by Cassie. Then this dude settled the next day. I was like, damn, I should have just waited a day so I could have did it all at once. But once you open yourself up to proving that you're a liar, is actually not the litigation. I think the thing that exposed Diddy as a target for people to just try to get money off through litigation is not the fact that he had litigation, is the fact that when Cassie sued him, one, he should have just settled, but that shit shouldn't even have been filed in court. Soon as her attorneys called him, he should have said, how much you want? 30, 50, 75 million, and just cut a check. But because he wanted to stand on his fake ass morals, he said he didn't do anything. The video was dropped that was released by the feds, of course. That's pretty much my theory on that. They released this video. Now it was proven that you're a liar. So what that means is that anybody who's anybody is going to come after you for a lawsuit, especially if it's a woman and you had contact with them. You pretty much screwed yourself. So let's take a look at this lawsuit. We're going to pull it up. And I know everybody knows the history of the Sinaloa Cartel. El Chapo locked up sons, Los Chapitos, broke the Sinaloa Cartel up into 3 separate factions. 2 of them are arrested. About 3 weeks ago, the co-boss of the Sinaloa Cartel, El Mayo, was arrested. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if it's relating to Diddy, I'm gonna just be honest. Like, men, women, if anybody say Diddy touched them, even though, hey, they're not proven guilty in a court of law, I'm generally believing them. I don't care if it was a 60-year-old man. I'll be like, I don't know. I gotta hear more information, but I'm generally holding things against them. Let me go and queue up this article or this actual court order so we can talk about it. All right, so we're gonna go through and read this. It's short, it's an interesting lawsuit. And after I get through the facts, I want to know if you all can tell me what issues you think you can spot in this lawsuit. Okay. Chief Judge, this is in Southern District of New York, where a lot of high-profile cases happen. Plaintiff Alfredo P. Gonzalez. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me make sure. Let me do it. Let me do it this way right here. All right. Plaintiff Alfredo P. Gonzalez, who appears pro se, that means he doesn't have an attorney, which is going to play a factor in this, and is currently incarcerated in the Centennial Correctional Facility in Kansas City, Colorado, brings this action asserting claims of defamation. He seems to allege that he is a citizen of Colorado, and he sues Bad Boy Entertainment, which alleges is a corporation duly organized and existing under the laws of the state of New York, and Sean P. Diddy Combs, Bad Boy Chief Executive Officer, whom he alleges is a citizen of the state of New York. Plaintiff seeks, that's a unique number, $666,000 in damages. The court understands the plaintiff's complaint asserting a claim of defamation under the state law and the court's diversity jurisdiction. All right, this next stuff. By order dated May 8th, 2024, the court granted plaintiff's request to proceed in forma pauperis. Essentially, that means without payment of fees because he ain't got no money because he's locked up. And we're going to skip down to the standard of review. Okay, we're not even worried about that. We're going to get right into the background, okay? Now, everybody who watching, just to recap, defamation. Well, what the hell is a defamation lawsuit? Essentially, you defamed my character by telling something that's not true that caused me some type of harm, some type of economic harm. If I sell widgets and you like, oh man, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna tell everybody, all my followers on Instagram, he got sucky widgets, and one of them broke, and it almost caused me to crash in my vehicle. If that's not true, and I lose business because of it, I can say that, hey, you made a defamatory statement. You put something out there that's damaging my economic interest, so I need money. So that's defamation. Now, what is a defense to defamation? If we don't know from Cardi B and Tasha K, but truth is an absolute defense to defamation. If somebody said my widgets suck ass and it caused him to almost crash his vehicle, and it's proven that my widgets do suck ass and it almost caused him to crash his vehicle, I lose the case. That's an absolute defense. I'm suing him for defamation, but the statement wasn't false. It was actually a true statement. So that's what he's suing him for. Plaintiff alleges the following due to what appeared to be his connections with the Sinaloa drug cartel. Now, I will tell you, I looked it up, and this guy is doing time for a serious trafficking charges. So he asserts that he's a affiliate. He didn't say a member. He used the word affiliate, associate of the Sinaloa drug cartel. So plaintiff alleges the following due to what appears to be his connection with the Sinaloa drug cartel. On or about May 5th, 2021, plaintiff received a telephone call from an unidentified business partner of Combs. The business partner told plaintiff that Combs was wanting to set up some business deals with the Sinaloa cartel. Plaintiff responded by saying that he was always willing to set up business deals with the rich for drugs. Combs' business partner stated that Combs was looking to make a deal to get some young girls / boys for a party in New York. Okay, let's take a pause right there. Okay, we go. Let's take a pause right there. Let me see. Don't see you have clean hands when it comes to filing the lawsuit. I agree, but let's take a pause right there. Okay, anytime somebody put a complaint out there, I could make a complaint against any one of you for anything and actually file it in court. So complaints don't mean anything. But when he says that, hey, I don't need drugs, what I'm looking for is some underage persons of interest, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is with all the crazy stuff and allegations that Diddy got going on in lawsuits, hey, this is within the realm of potential possibility just based on all the smoke that's out there. Again, not saying it's true, probably not true, not proven in a court of law, but because you opened yourself up to these type of litigations with these type of accusations, anybody can come and file a lawsuit and says, hey, Diddy was asking for something wild, or did he touch me or something? So that's just kind of what it is. Man, this don't sound like some bullshit, but it's hilarious. Okay, let's go ahead and go back into the lawsuit. I'm gonna actually make that a little bit bigger so if people want to read it on the screen. Okay, so plaintiff responded by saying that he was always willing to set up business deals with the rich for drugs. Combs' business partner stated that Combs was looking to make a deal to get some young girls / boys for a party in New York. While plaintiff wanted to speak to Combs himself, he told the business partner that such an arrangement could not happen because the cartel did not sex traffic underage kids. Okay, now, hey, some criminals have morals. Okay, this guy was like, we engage in the trafficking of methamphetamines, fentanyl, adults, but we cross the line. It matters. The Sinaloa Cartel does not engage in that form of business. So, hey, some people got to have a moral compass. All right, let's go back in. So he stated he wanted to speak to Combs himself. He told the business partner that such an arrangement could not happen because the cartel did not sex traffic underage kids. Business partner told plaintiff that he had nothing to worry about because Combs had everything on lock. Street slang for no one can fuck with us. Again, once you put yourself out there with these type of cases, exposures, allegations, that sounds like something Diddy would say. Like, yeah, can't nobody touch me out here. So, hey, we're not saying this case is true, but hey, when you throw in something about trafficking and something about Diddy purporting to say that he's bigger than the law, that's not outside of the realm of possibility on these allegations, okay? He said Combs had everything on lock, street slang for no one can fuck with us. Plaintiff told business partner that there was no money in sex trafficking. The business partner then told plaintiff that he was making a big mistake for not taking the offer from Combs, and then the call ended without an agreement. All right, so like, man, you're not gonna give us what we need for our white party. This is wild. And I agree, it does sound like some BS. And we're gonna get to the breakdown of what happened with this case. The same unidentified business partner of Combs later communicated again with plaintiff, again asking once again if plaintiff could help him get some underage boys and girls over the U.S. border. Plaintiff could come to the party and watch the shows they put on. Plaintiff refused. He told the business partner that he wanted no parts in their sex offender shit, not to contact him, and that Sinaloa wants no parts of this sex offender shit. Plaintiff also insulted Bad Boy. The business partner then told plaintiff that he can make plaintiff's life hell because of how much power he has in the streets. Plaintiff told him to do what you do. Hey, this lawsuit is hilarious and wow. I don't know. I think it I think it does not pass the sniff test. If somebody said, man, what do you think of this lawsuit on his face? I would probably be like, this is some BS. But once you conduct yourself in a certain way, you open yourself up to litigation. It's possible to have people sitting in jail with nothing but time on their hands to figure out how could they try to get a piece of that bag that he's paying up due to his bad conduct in the past. There's another inmate suing Diddy for SS and is known for filing multiple suits to see what sticks. I forgot the term. Yeah, frivolous lawsuits is probably the term you're looking for. But hey, I saw this. I thought it was hilarious. Okay, due to Combs' Bad Boy defamation, plaintiff has lost all his business contacts in the state of New York. Plaintiff was informed by his own business partner that he cannot do business with plaintiff until plaintiff help Bad Boy out. This has cost the plaintiff a lot of money. Okay, discussion. Now, this is where we get into what the court is going to do with this lawsuit. And the judge on this case, all right, I'm a Judge Lauren Taylor Swain, Chief United States District Judge in the Southern District of New York. I'm going to assume that she knows what's going on with Diddy, but judges have a job. Having worked for a federal judge at a district court, essentially, if a defendant is pro se, like they don't have an attorney, right? Typically, the court will try to assist that plaintiff, who don't got a lawyer through the case. They may not sign the documents. They might cite, like, they might put the wrong statutes for certain laws, but generally the court, like, you know what, you don't got a lawyer. We're not going to do it for you, but we're going to give you a little bit of room for mistakes and try to help you fumble and bumble your way through this case if there's a legal point and there's a legitimate case. So based on those facts, I want y'all to let me know it's not frivolous. It's something they call when you file multiple lawsuits. So based on the facts, what do y'all think is wrong with this lawsuit? Okay. Defamation is a false statement that somebody makes about you that destroy your business interests. And that's point number one. If y'all know it or y'all got an idea, shout it out and throw it up in the comment so we can get about it. Standing is important. Standing essentially means have you identified enough facts to prove to the court that this case has the standing to actually be heard in this particular court? Is this the right court to hear this particular case? That's what standing means. Plaintiff has failed to allege facts sufficient to show that he has standing to assert his claims. Okay, we're gonna scroll down. Standing to sue a defendant depends on the case and controversy requirement. We're gonna go and get through that. No need to explain that. In order to have standing, the plaintiff must have. So in order for your case to be held in this court, the plaintiff must have, 1, suffered an injury in fact, 2, that it is fairly traceable to the conduct of the defendant, and 3, that it is likely to be redressed by a favorable judicial decision. Long story short, you prove the injury, that injury is traceable to the conduct of the defendant, and if this court enters a judgment in your favor, it can make you whole. It can give you some type of satisfaction for whatever your harm. Okay. To establish injury in fact, a plaintiff must show to establish injury in fact, the plaintiff must show that he or she has suffered an invasion of legally protected interest, concrete, blah, blah, blah. The burden of establishing standing rests with the party who is bringing the lawsuit. All right. Plaintiff appears to allege that the defendant have injured him with regard to his illegal drug smuggling and sales business by defaming him. All right. So the first thing is, if you're going to file a lawsuit for defamation, because I'm saying that you told a lie on me to injure my business interest, you have to do two things. You have to identify what the defamatory statement was, and you need to know the person who that statement was communicated to. If you can't identify what the statement was and the person who was communicated to, you're probably not going to have enough to even have this case brought up in court. That's point number one. Point number two is right here with what the judge said. Plaintiff appears to allege that the defendant have injured him with regard to his illegal drug smuggling and sale business by defaming him. Because plaintiff's business is not alleged to be a legally protected interest. However, plaintiff have not shown that the defendant has caused him an injury in fact for purposes of establishing standing. Okay. Standing would not be recognized for a smuggler who asserted that his drug trafficking was disrupted. Although the smuggler has been injured in fact, the asserted interest of not one of the courts will protect. So essentially, long story short is, if you doing something illegal and I do something that it could be illegal for me to do and it damages your illegal businesses, the court isn't going to protect your illegal drug smuggling business. This dude didn't even identify what the statement was. He didn't identify a person who the statement was communicated with. He didn't even have the wherewithal to say, well, this statement caused me to lose money at one of my legitimate businesses, maybe something that you use to wash or launder money in. No, he said that this dude injured my drug smuggling business. And the court is like, bro, we trying to work with you, but we can't help you protect the business that you're not supposed to have in the first place. So plaintiff's claims are frivolous. Shout out to you, Wolverine. You was one of the persons who said it early on. Plaintiff claims are frivolous. The court must dismiss the action if the action is frivolous. A claim is frivolous when it lacks an arguable basis in either law or in fact. It says here the factual contentions are clearly baseless, or the claim is based on indisputably meritless legal theory. Plaintiff, without any legal basis, appears to assert a claim of defamation against the defendant, seeking damages arising from an injury occurred in his illegal drug smuggling and sales business caused by the defendant's alleged defamation to plaintiff. Because he refused to arrange sex trafficking of underage children for the defendant, including what appears to be international sex trafficking. Since there is no apparent legal basis for any of these claims, the court additionally dismisses plaintiff's claims as frivolous. So now, this was dismissed. It looks like Diddy didn't have to do anything, but it did have a cost to it, okay? This is a frivolous lawsuit. I think anybody who had eyes in their head and ears attached to the side of it could know that this dude was just sitting in jail looking at the news like, you know what? I'm going to try to sue Diddy and see if I can get some money out of it. But it does have a cost because he actually have to hire attorneys to go in here and deal with this stupid ass lawsuit. This is the craziest lawsuit. It had actually literally no basis in fact, but because of his conduct, because he pretty much made himself publicly known as a liar by saying he never hit a woman, then a video came out of him being a horrific monster. Now he essentially opened up the floodgates for people like this. And where's really going to kick him in the nuts is not for an inmate in jail who comes up with this cockamamie reason. This was a stupid ass reason too. All the free time he got in jail to think, he could have thought of something better. But this isn't the worst case scenario. The absolute worst case scenario is potentially frivolous claims that are going to come from any woman who was within arm's reach of this guy. And again, whether those claims are based in fact or not, because of your previous conduct, a lot of people are going to look at Diddy sideways and possibly believe it. So, the big takeaway from that story is you can file a lawsuit for anything. People can file a lawsuit against you for anything. There is some exposure, even if you get a win that's handed to you by the court. His attorneys didn't have to make any argument, but he had to pay the cost to retain attorneys. The attorneys probably had to show up to court. When attorneys actually showed up to court, that's going to cost them. So there's cost to fighting legal battles. Legal battles can make you go broke. You should probably do your best to try to avoid those. That's it. That's all I got for this video. Y'all let me know if y'all got any comments before I jump out of here. Before I go, I had a moment today. I told you I dropped my son off at college on Sunday, and I had a moment today when I really missed him. I thought, like, man, I really missed that dude. It was something, you'll see as a parent, you have these moments where, like even, you may smell something and, oh man, I smell popcorn. It reminds me of back in the day at the fair. But you have these moments when you do something, it triggers an immediate memory. And I really miss my son today when I was just doing something that, he did often, and I got a little bit down and I got a little bit fucking frustrated too. I was cutting the grass. I was like, damn it, I should have made this dude cut the grass before he fucking left. I was pissed. It was hot out there. The grass was high, and I gave him a pass his last weekend. I was like, I thought about asking him to cut it, making him cut it, but I was like, nah, it's his last weekend before he gotta go. He gonna want to hang out with his little dumbass friends. And I really missed him today when I was cutting the grass. And I was really pissed off Tuesday because I forgot to put the trash out and I couldn't fuss at myself for not putting the trash out. So, it are these moments where I really do miss my son, especially when his chores that he do have fallen on me. But that's okay. My daughter old enough to learn how to start cutting grass. That's going to be the new thing. Little do she know, if she want an allowance, she going to have to earn it. You can't do extracurricular activities only and get allowance, not over in this household. That's it for this video. Friday, I'm going to do a live video. I actually am going to break down because a lot of people dropped a comment on the last video I did regarding Tiffany Henyard, and they wanted me to talk about, is Tiffany Henyard's attorney, does he actually have a conflict of interest? So what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to look at the relevant portions of this past week's Thornton Township meeting where they talked about that. And then we're going to actually dive into the rules that applies to attorneys in the beautiful state of Illinois. And we're going to break down what is a conflict of interest, look at the facts, and determine if there is, in fact, one. I'm probably going to assume yeah, because I haven't seen anybody in the village of Dalton do anything right. So I'm assuming that it is a conflict. That's it for this video. Like I said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, jumping into the chat. Don't pick up no Latinas out there. Don't pick up nobody. Some things are too good, too good to be true. Stand clear. You don't want to be telling your story on the news looking like a goofy in front of your friends and families. Y'all be safe. Thanks. Take care. Peace.